if you're a young person, you're going through a tough time, you're in your teens or you're in your early 20s and you're just going through it, just know it gets fucking worse. It gets so much fucking worse. They fucking sold us a lie by saying, it gets better. When? Where? Who? What? And how? This is fucked. Do you know what I mean? This is fucked.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
So I'm 21 years old, and there's sort of a huge problem in our generation that no one really talks about. We just completely are prioritizing convenience over interaction and experience. And we're just gonna keep seeing this problem grow and grow with all these new technologies and apps. I'm just gonna list out examples so you know what I'm talking about. So instead of going outside and trying to meet people, we use Tinder. Instead of going to a movie theater, we watch Netflix. Instead of riding a bike or walking outside, we get on a treadmill or we buy a Peloton. We DoorDash food instead of driving like 10 minutes to a restaurant and speaking to another human. When we want information, we go to YouTube or TikTok. We don't read about it. We don't go and talk to people and ask about it. I mean, we can literally do everything from our homes. It's kind of crazy. And I'm not saying it's bad to do the other things, but the reason that I'm sort of scared for our generation is that we're going to get so comfortable with using technology that we are just going to not even know how to talk to people anymore. And we're going to be so scared to get outside of our houses. We're not forced to go do things for ourselves. You can make money off your phone. You can get information from your phone. You can get food from your phone. You can get entertainment. You can get a girlfriend from your phone. Like, it's crazy. And while some of it is nice, I just think it's important to recognize that and make sure you're still getting real experiences and interactions with other humans.
How are y'all affording to live out here? Like, genuinely, how do you afford it? My husband and I just got married, so we're in the process of like switching everything over and getting our own stuff. And we literally can't afford it, like, simply. We just got a quote for our car insurance, and it's $220 a month for the cheapest thing that we could find, on top of our student loans, our rent, our groceries, our electricity, all the other bills. The next thing that we have to do is get new phone bills because, we're married and we got to get off our parents. We might be getting flip phones. Like, I literally don't. How are we going to afford it? We can't afford. We cannot afford all this stuff. Like, we both have full-time jobs. We can't. How are y'all affording to live? We're trying to find side hustles. We have Instacart and DoorDash. Like, I don't know what else to do. I can't get a second full-time job. Like, I don't have time for that. I'm very overwhelmed. Adulting sucks. Adulting is a scam. You work until you die. You still can't afford to live. Somebody needs to come up with a better system.
Our generation is actually so sad. Like, I'm so disappointed in our generation. We spend probably more than half of our day on our phone, on average. Not in real life, on our phone, scrolling, watching other people's lives. Is that not crazy to a lot of people? I feel like this is a way bigger problem, but just nobody cares because everybody's on their phone. Prove me wrong in the comments, please. But, like, I swear everybody is stuck in their phone nowadays. It's like a bad addiction. It's like a nicotine addiction, honestly, for a lot of people. And it's just as bad because you're losing just as much time in life on your phone than you are to be smoking a cigarette. We're spending 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day. That is terrible. Either way, I decided to try and get my screen time lower from 6.5 hours down, even though I work from my phone. So I looked into some apps. A lot of them didn't work. A couple were too expensive, but I did end up finding one called LifeBack. And this is not paid or anything. I'm genuinely trying to spread some awareness to help people's screen time habits, because it is very, very sad how much time we spend on our phone. But yeah, it's called LifeBack and it's pretty customizable. So if you guys want to check it out, I'd recommend doing that if you're interested in getting your screen time down at all. Most people probably aren't because nobody cares about their screen time because everybody's on their phone. But I'll do my part to help humanity and society get off their phones more. Also, I feel like life was just better in general when we weren't on our phones as much. It was now it's dull, it seems like, because everybody's on their phone and watching other people's lives. So get off your phone, get off your screen so much. Go check your screen time, actually. I bet you'll be pretty sad, but definitely check out Lifepack. Peace.
Let me tell you why this generation cannot afford a home right now. And before you say, oh, well, it's inflation, it's prices, it's the cost of everything. Yes. I'm talking about variables that we can control, because obviously, like, we can't control inflation. We can't control the cost of goods. So I am a real estate broker in Central Florida. I own a brokerage, and we also do property management. And nothing brings me greater joy than helping a first-time home buyer into their house. Like, it's just so, it just gives me the warm and fuzzies, like facilitating that for them and making a dream actually happen for somebody. So nothing better. That being said, I also work with a lot of homeowners that get started on their journey, but we have to temporarily pause because they have made poor life decisions and financial decisions in the past, and specifically is with car payments. So just because a dealership tells you that you can afford something on paper does not mean you should do it. Just do not get that big car payment. It will ruin your chances, most likely, of getting a home in the future.
After going through college, I'm scared for the next generation because I know what my friends are mentally capable of, and I see what they do for professional careers. It's making me lose respect for certain industries. You don't even have to be smart to be a doctor anymore. I have this white friend, Max, and he's a primary care physician. I used to think that was a difficult job because I barely passed biology myself. But here's how I know you don't have to be smart to be a physician. Back when we were roommates, Max busts into our apartment sweating bullets. We asked, what's going on? Max caught a UTI from putting his thing in a girl's butt raw because he didn't have a condom and he didn't want to get her pregnant. Here's the thing though. This happened in our apartment. He has roommates, meaning that he could have asked any one of us for some protection and we would have given it to him. And we point that out to him. With a straight face, I swear to God, Max looks at us and he says, I didn't think I could fit a black man's condom. That man is now in charge of your clinical health.
Y'all want to know why the people back in the day was able to work at them jobs and stay there for 40 plus years without complaining? Because they work 8 hours a day, making about $50,000 a year, maybe less, and was still able to own a home, have 3 kids, own a car, and have all the bills paid and still have enough to eat and go buy groceries. So yes, of course they're able. And then when they retired, they had enough money to retire off of and live off of. And the mortgage half the time wasn't even $1,000. So yes, of course they were able to live their best lives. They tell you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but hello, y'all was able to live a great life with $40,000 a year.
See, the dating pool in our generation is so cooked, and I'll be the first person to tell you. The girl that you're thinking you're going to make your girlfriend or you're going to marry, she's commenting raw next question on another man's post. She's commenting, do you do deliveries to South London? She's commenting, I'm going to miss you when I have to scroll. She's commenting, I felt you from 6 scrolls ago. This is the girl that you're thinking you're going to wife on another man's post. She's commenting slow, passionately. Next question. She's commenting, I need you in my life. Like, does that not mess with your mental? Like, she's commenting raw, no hesitation. Like, no hesitation. She's commenting, Lord have mercy, on another man's post. She's commenting, so what are we? Your future girlfriend is commenting, so what are we, on another man's post. Bro, this game is cooked.
There's a video I saw yesterday, and it put this in such a great perspective of how, like, all the information that we get now about, like, what to go to school for, or like what kind of jobs to be looking for, like in terms of careers and things like that, is all just lagging. It was the best way to even put it, like how we're just running on like old information. Because when people started doing computer science and like cybersecurity and more tech jobs during the pandemic, like between 2020 to 2021, maybe a lot of people just started like doing school during that time, or maybe they were already in the middle of school, maybe they switched their majors, things like that, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, this is where the money is. So we're going to go and do this, right? And by the time we graduate, 2023, 2024, I should have a job in computer science or tech or whatever. But now it's like, well, just last year, everyone got laid off. And now people are talking about trades is the way to go. Go to trade school, electrician, plumber, contractor, carpenter, etc. And even like I'm seeing videos now, because they just now probably started saying that last year. I'm seeing videos now for people who are in these professions saying like, bro, they're holding us. They're like outsourcing, looking for freelancers, Like, unless, of course, I know they tell a lot of people to make your own business when you're doing stuff like that, when you're going into trades, but it's like not everyone can do that, right? So it's like we're all just running on lagging information. Like, not like all the, like, 'cause my last video, there's a lot of people trying to give advice and like, oh, she picked the wrong degree, and like you have to be doing this or go into cybersecurity or go into this or start doing trades. It's like, bro, how expensive college is, how expensive schooling is, bro, in America. Like, you don't have the leeway to be like tripping up and making mistakes, especially when it comes to like your jobs and your careers and things like that. There is not a lot of leeway. A lot of people are who are just now graduating from from 2020 to 2024 are suffering now. They cannot find a job, and they are working these minimum wage jobs and things like that because they can't find anything. You know what I'm saying? They can't find anything. It's very easy to sit there and say, oh, you just have to be a little bit flexible. You have to be able to like, pivot and just go down an alternate route. But how can they do that when they're like 6 figures in debt? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not easy. Like, people are trying to make it seem like it's so easy, or it's like, oh, it's only your fault. Like, the system didn't screw you up. It's not about how predatory student loans are. It's about you. You picked the wrong degree. You picked the wrong. But it's like, bro, we're running off of lagging information. The stuff that you're saying right now in those comments probably can't even be used in a year's time, because that's how fast everything is moving. You think someone gets on the internet, gets on TikTok or Twitter or whatever and goes, hey, y'all should all look into real estate, or y'all should all look into becoming a lawyer, or y'all should all look into computer science or cybersecurity. You're thinking not millions of people are going to go start doing those same exact things? There's not enough jobs for people like that, bro. And you're seeing it now. And not only is it like there's so many applicants for very limited positions, we're in a technological age, so they're trying their hardest to replace us with robots and AI and stuff like that. They're trying their damnedest to replace us already. So combining that with just how many people are probably having degrees for the same type of jobs, bro, it's not easy out here.
I feel like we was sold a freaking lie about adulthood. Because how come when it's our turn to be freaking adults, now inflation wants to be so high, groceries is high, moving out is high, paying rent is high, everything is fucking high. The club scene is not the same, the music is not the same. Like, and not to say that it needs to be the same, but it should have got better, and it didn't. It started to get worse. Like, I feel like music in the early 2000s was like at its peak. Now, like, I feel like everything is so shitty now.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
Okay, I think we can all agree. I think we can see which one is a bigger commitment, marriage or a baby. That conversation is going nowhere. And because I am a very solution-oriented person, I've come up with a solution. Let's just do baby proposals. It's clear that we think marriage is this big commitment that we're afraid to make, and we're okay having babies with people that we're really not sure if we want to spend the rest of our life with. So let's just do a baby proposal. Let's have the men, or women, whoever. See, I'm saying we need some proof that in the next 3 to 6 months to a year after the baby is born, we need some proof so we can stop with the trapping allegations. Because I hate the trapping allegations for why you were pregnant the most. Because we like to pretend as if 2 consenting adults don't know what is the consequence of raw, unprotected, shooting up the club sex. So can we just have a baby proposal so we have some proof, something to show to the kid when at this way we're going, it inevitably it ends? Something to show your kid and say, no, mommy and daddy wanted you here. Mommy and daddy planned for you to be here. And this was something we maybe even just for 30 minutes talked about or thought about or considered, because let me not do too much. That's the solution. Baby proposals.
I've come to terms with the fact that at this point in my life, I cannot afford friends. I cannot afford brunch every single weekend. I cannot afford concerts every month. I cannot afford 10 birthdays in June. I cannot afford trips to God knows where. I cannot afford it. I can't even imagine being a bridesmaid or being in a wedding right now. That would set me back financially to a point of no return. And it's so funny because sometimes I see these large friend groups and part of me is like, wow, like that is so cool and that must be really nice. And then reality sets back in and makes me realize like you cannot afford that. And I've seen some people talk about this before, but not enough of how much of a luxury friendship is. It costs a lot of money to maintain and to create new friendships. And I'm in a place where I'm just surviving. The economy is what it is. I don't even know how people are going out. I mean, if I go out one weekend, I have to live like a monk the following weekend. So I really do need to pick my battles wisely these days. And having a lot of friends just is very expensive. And then on top of that, I'm expected to date.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but just hear me out. Hear me out. I think that part of growing up is finally admitting that the older generation were right about a lot of the things they had to tell us when we were younger. The only reason why we were so stubborn and so reluctant to hear them out was because they would always make us feel like we were dumb. They made us feel like we didn't know anything, and which to some extent valid, right? Because they felt like we did not experience life enough to know what we're talking about, which, okay, cool. But I can tell you for a fact that there are certain opinions that I held when I was like, 16, 17, 18, that I still hold to this day. And I'm 26 years old. And you know what? It's possible that as I experience life more, I would change my perspective on those things. I have changed my mind on a lot of things, which is normal, but it doesn't take away from the fact that I knew what I was talking about, especially because I still hold the same opinions. If they had just listened, if they had just given us the opportunity to, voice out the things that we had to say, I feel like for a lot of us, the transitioning into adulthood would have been a lot easier. Because I'm not gonna lie, the way they used to shoot some of us down, it did a number on our self-esteem. It took a while. It took a while before I got to a point where I was now like able to talk about my opinions and be kind of like assertive. But I had to work on it. Yeah, they were right. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time. I would say though, experience is the best teacher. But in my very humble opinion, experience is not the only teacher. Oh well.
Nah, cause bro, do y'all remember as kids, we used to circle what we wanted for Christmas on like a Toys R Us catalog? What do kids be telling their parents like what they want for Christmas? Do they be sending them like links to Target toys? Like bro, this just adds on to the list of reasons why our generation is the best, bro. We had the perfect mix of technology and like real life, you know what I'm saying? We could play video games. We could also enjoy going outside. Kids nowadays don't even go outside, and it makes me sound so even though I'm 19 years old. But bro, like this generation of kids is cooked, and I feel like every generation is gonna keep. It's an ongoing cycle of them saying it, but just like I don't know, dude. Christmas nowadays just feels so weird, and I don't know how kids nowadays be feeling, dude. It's weird.
So I am Gen Z, and my generation is truly cooked. And almost all of us will not be able to afford a house. Almost all of us will not get the American dream anymore. Only pieces of the American dream, not the full thing. Just a little piece of a dream, but that's pretty much it. Very few of us will actually experience the full thing. Very few of us. And that is a very sad commentary on the state of the world today, that we cannot afford to live. That even if we follow our dreams, it won't be enough. We need 3 dreams. Like, it is ridiculous to me. It's very strange, but very ridiculous.
People in our generation have the attention span of an ant, and they give up on things way too quickly. Oh, I quit my job after a month. It was just too hard. I didn't like my boss. Oh, I went for my real estate license, but it didn't really work out. I tried to start my own business, but I gave up after a couple months. It just wasn't for me. You have to stick with something for years and years on end before it works out. Morgan Wallen is the biggest artist in the world right now. He's selling out football stadiums on his tour, and he has great music. This was him 10 years ago. This is Morgan Wallen in 2014 when he went on The Voice. I mean, what in the world is that? And he lost the voice. Imagine if after he lost the show, he left and he was like, you know what? Music isn't for me anymore. I'm going to go be an insurance salesman. Imagine if Morgan Wallen gave up on music and look at where he is today. Imagine that. Post Malone, one of the best artists on the planet today. Let's look at him 10 years ago. This is Post Malone in 2014 on a song called Why Don't You Love Me? It is one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my entire life. Look it up on YouTube. I know for a fact that he got bullied for making this song and posting it online. Imagine if he took that bullying to heart and quit music and said, you know what, music isn't for me. I'm going to go to college or work at Walmart or something. Look at Post Malone now. one of the best artists on the planet, making some of the best songs I've ever heard in our generation. Morgan Wallen and Post Malone 10 years ago were absolute shells of themselves, and today they're global superstars. The point I'm trying to make is everyone in our generation hops around from thing to thing, job to job, career to career every single month. You need to stick with something for years on end to become elite at it, to become world class at it, to become the Morgan Wallen or the Post Malone of what you do. You can't just jump around because things got hard or someone picked on you or you didn't like your boss. Stick with something for a long enough time to become actually good at it. Try that.
Don't mind this green shirt right now, but check this out, y'all. Last night I was leaving work and this man came to the car and asked me for 85 cents. Mind y'all, I see this man and his friend every day at my job in the parking lot asking people for their money just to go buy drugs and get on the side of the building and smoke the drugs. So I told the man last night, I said, no, I'm not giving you 85 cents to go buy drugs. I'm not going to be around here supporting your habit. You're a grown man. And like I told him, instead of you being out on these streets asking for people money, how about I can help you get a job at my job and put you on, and so you can make your own money. He say, what I look like, going in on me, cussing me out, and then he talk about, oh, you work at Publix. Let me explain something to you, baby, like I told that man last night. Baby, before I be on somebody's street asking for 85 cents to go buy some motherfucking drugs, bitch, I go motherfucking sit in Publix all day. Baby, I get good benefits, good benefits. Bitch, I get paid every week. Every week, I'm not missing no checks. So guess what, bitch? I'm good. And bitch, while you sit on that street talking about, oh, I work at Publix, bitch, you should be taking notes and be trying to get your ass at Publix. I can get you a green shirt.
Why can't I be one of those people? You know how them folks be finding their money in a bag and it be like 10K, 15K, and they fucking turn it into the goddamn police? Because why can't that be me? Because I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not turning that shit in. I fucking need it. Because why I just pay all my bills? Mind you, it's like this every 2 weeks. I just pay all of my bills. Rent, lights, whatever the fuck. Your usual bills. Why am I back broke? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm thankful that I'm able to pay my bills. But goddamn. I'm talking about y'all. I used to keep my hair done, my nails done. Bitch, I'm back broke. What the fuck? How the fuck am I finna get through the next 2 weeks? Like, I'm over it, bro. This shit so stupid to me. I feel like I got a good paying job. But I need a higher paying one. Somebody point me somewhere. Because ain't no fucking way I should be broke. I just fucking got paid. Just got paid. I can't even sing. Just got paid. It's Friday night. Yeah, bitch, I'm broke. I'm fucking broke. Fuck this shit.
Nearly everyone I've talked to recently is just like, yeah, haha, I can't really afford groceries. Guess I just have to cut it down to 2 meals a day. And groceries are a little too much. Gotta see, like, how long I can get my food to last me. That's not a... Why are we casually being like, yeah, we can't afford groceries? I can't. I literally eat like 2 meals a day. I barely eat out. I don't order stuff. I eat like 2 meals a day. Sometimes I'll just have a nap for dinner because I just can't keep buying groceries. Like you're telling us all of us have jobs, and the people specifically I was talking to have like well-paying jobs, and we all just still can't afford groceries. I mean, we're single people living on our own, so like there's rent, but besides for just paying for rent, you should also be able to afford to live, to eat, to feed yourself, and we literally can't do that right now.
I have FOMO. I have a fear of missing out. So I can't work a 9 to 5. I'm not missing out on anybody's birthday. I'm not going to be worried about missing out on somebody's funeral because they don't have any PTO. I'm not getting up and going to the office. I'm not going to the salon, the plant, the lab, whatever the fuck. Not because I'm lazy. I'm not living just to survive anymore. None of us are. If I can't live my life to enjoy it, then I'm not doing it. I think that's very scary for the older generation. Millennials and Gen Z, everybody in between really, we're pretty much fucking done, No matter how hard we work at the same jobs, we will never be given the same opportunities or value for the same amount of work, if not more. And that's just a fact. I want to go on spontaneous trips. I don't want to have to plan a vacation weeks in advance and be worried about if I get paid time off approved or not. I'm not asking for fucking permission anymore. You can pretend these kids don't want to work. But first off, you're not in this conversation anyway, and you are the reason we have to have this conversation, because you're not going to be here in the dumpster fire that you left for us. If we are going to go there, to you boomers, we're guaranteed that you just worked hard, you would be successful, and you would have something to show for it. Guess what? My generation works just as hard as you, if not more, and there is nothing to show for it. My generation can't save any money because there's no fucking money left over at the end of the fucking day. How expensive your lives are, yet the pay doesn't ever match for us. I feel like this would be an appropriate time to say eat the rich, but I want to be the rich.
I have a question for people who are 23 and above. Does it ever get better?
No, it does not. It does not get better, but you do start to give way less of a fuck. So in essence, it kind of does get better. Actually, it gets a lot better. Life doesn't improve necessarily, but your perception on life does improve. And like I still give many a fuck about many things and opinions that I shouldn't at the age of 28, but not to the extent that I used to. Like literally when I turned 27, a flip switched. Up until I was 27, it was like my entire perception of life was completely based on what I thought other people were thinking about my life. Turns out no one is fucking thinking about my life. I felt like a loser for living at my parents at the age of 26 to save for a house. I got over that immediately, okay? I realized literally nobody cares. Nobody. Not a single person is waking up in the morning thinking, wow, Robbie is such a loser for living at his parents. And if they are, I no longer give a fuck what you think. I don't care. And two, they're probably just being young and dumb like I was a year ago. Like they're going to grow out of it. And truly, this is coming from someone who has lived with severe social anxiety my entire life. And I'm so obsessed with what other people think about me. You will just reach an age where you realize like, everyone is just thinking about themselves. All I am doing most of the time is thinking about me and how I'm not doing enough and how I should be over here and not here. Oh my God. Like everybody is struggling in some way. Everybody is coping with that struggle in some way. And everybody is just kind of trying to find a way to enjoy life, basically. There are no fucking rules. Like these arbitrary bullshit rules about how to live life to the fullest, whatever, like they literally only exist in our heads. Like life has gotten exponentially more challenging. I have so many more responsibilities and things weighing over my head than I ever have before. But I've been doing this shit for long enough to know now that it is not that serious. I'm fine. I can do this. People have judged me. I'm still here. I've failed many pursuits. Still here, bitch. Still paying taxes. You do finally reach a point, I say in your late 20s, at least for me, where you've persevered through life long enough, okay, to compile enough evidence to prove to yourself that there's nothing that you can't push through. There's no problem that doesn't have some solution. There's no phase of life that doesn't have something that you can enjoy about it or something that it can teach you to help you grow. Life is not that serious, seriously, and you will get there. You will know what I'm talking about if you don't get it yet. It will hit you in a very subtle way. Like suddenly I feel like you'll just wake up and be like, oh, yeah, it's not that serious. Like you'll start to feel just a little bit more grounded. And if this doesn't happen for you, then therapy. Just go to therapy.
I already know that this comment is going to piss some people off, especially employers. I'm seeing all these articles pop up where they say Gen Z is the toughest generation to work with because they're entitled. No, they're not entitled. They're just not willing to put up with the shit that you was willing to put up with. Gen Z is the generation that watches their parents go to work from day in to day out, sun up to sundown, and still not be able to pay their bills. They watch jobs show their true faces when they laid off a bunch of people and then put double the work on their mothers and father and didn't increase the pay and used the pandemic as an excuse. And then it's playing out on Dolby surround sound on platforms like TikTok and IG, where they're not only seeing it happen to their parents, but they're watching it happen to other people's parents too. But then their parents are the woke generation that says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. And yet you want them to work for corporations and deal with what their parents went through? Hell no! If I'm gonna be broke anyway, I might as well sit at home and play video games. It's not like my parents are actually gonna put me out. My son got a job interview the other day, and I told him this job pays $12 an hour, which I thought was okay for an 18-year-old. You don't have no bills. And he was like, Mom, I'm not giving an hour of my time for $12. I can't even buy a pair of pants with that. And I couldn't be mad at him because I don't see how people work for $20 and $25 an hour. But then again, I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to get a job and you got to subscribe to the whole work environment thing. I get it, but honestly, I can't be mad at these kids. I get it.
All right, guys, can we just make a rule that in 2025 going forward, we are not dating or doing anything casually? Because let's just be real here. It's been maybe, one or two generations where casually dating has been like normalized, and we're cooked. I mean, it's just beyond cooked, population decline, people not getting married, a million other things. And like, even if you're not a religious person, you have to admit keeping, God or faith at the center of a society, and especially inside the home, really fixed a lot of issues that we have today. See, like, dating used to be like, yeah, I'll get to know you a bit, maybe we'll grab dinner, grab a coffee, but you would never, you would never get like intimate with somebody, on a physical or emotional level that you weren't taking extremely seriously, like marriage, right? And this was common sense, because what people don't understand is the body and your soul, right? You can't separate, like, breaking up with somebody that you've been extremely intimate with. You can't separate that logically with like death, right? So if you become, soul tied with somebody, but it's actually casual, and then you just like cut that person off, or it just ends, your body thinks they died, right? Because being with somebody on a deep level was never meant to be casual, right? It's a way, it's basically to bring you and your partner closer together within marriage, obviously. So like I said, when you are, extremely close with somebody on a spiritual and emotional and physical level, and then you go from that to ending it, your body literally thinks this person has died, right? It's your body's grieving. It's all over the place. So this is common knowledge that people have just forgotten, and saying it right now, you might be like, oh, that's cringe. It's normal to do that nowadays, but there's a reason that it hasn't been normal, because it shouldn't be normal. So in 2025, let's not do that.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.